Peace and infinite bliss. Welcome back to Rising Phoenix Oracle. I am Akira Lane. As you see by the title, we will be talking about the Atlanta child murders. Okay. Now this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. I think over 2 years, but I just never really got around to it. And I actually wanted to do it more of kind of like a series with pre-recorded with clips and different things in there and quotes, because I actually researched the story some years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, and I just found it very interesting. So let me read to y'all a little bit about it. It says the Atlanta murders of 1979 to 81, sometimes called the Atlanta child murders, was a series of murders committed in Atlanta, Georgia between July 1979 and May 1981. Over the 2-year period, at least 28 children, adolescents, and adults were unalive. It says Wayne Williams, an Atlanta native who was 23 years old at the time of the last unalive, was arrested, tried, and convicted of 2 of the adult unalives and sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms. Police subsequently have attributed a number of the child unalives to Williams, although he has not been charged in any of those cases, and Williams himself maintains his innocence, although the killings ceased after his arrest. In March 2019, the Atlanta police, under the order of Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, reopened the cases in hopes that new technology will lead to a conviction for the murders that were never solved. July 2021, Bottoms announced that DNA had been identified and sampled in 2 cases that will be subjected to additional analysis by a private lab. Additionally, investigators combed through 40% of the original DNA evidence and sent that to the same private lab for testing on June 21st, 2021. So I need to look up to see if anything ever came of that. I really haven't heard anything, but that's not to say that anything hasn't come back. I just haven't researched to see as of so far. What I did find interesting, I really looked at this a couple years ago, and it just came to mind, you know, just recently to go ahead and just do the video, you know what I mean? However, to do the reading on it, however, a lot of the details, I knew a lot more detailed information back in the day, but you know how it escapes you as time passes by. But what I do remember, what I found interesting, let me see if I can find it. They brought in, I remember they brought in criminal profilers when they found out that it was like, they felt like it was serial unalives, right? They brought in, criminal and criminal profilers, and those are the people that can compile the information and say, okay, this is what would you say, this is based on this information, this is the profile that we have of the type of person that would commit these types of crimes, right? So it says criminal profiler John E. Douglas said that while he believes that Williams committed many of the unalives, he does not think that he committed them all. Douglas added that he believes that law enforcement authorities have some idea of who the other unalivers are, the people who've done unalives, cryptically adding, it isn't a single offender and the truth isn't pleasant. Now, for me, just personally, not doing any readings, you know, consulting spirit, doing any cards or anything like that, just me and my logical mind. Number one, I felt as if he was a part of it, it felt like it was multiple people, whether he was working with somebody or if there were copycats. But it did say after he was arrested, all of the unalives stopped. So then people be like, it has to be him. But if he was with a network of people, or if you were dealing with copycats, some people might have been, okay, well, you know, let's just go on and wrap it up. Let's just stop this. You know what I mean? You just never know or understand what people are thinking. But I just thought this was very interesting. So I just kind of wanted to just do a brief reading on it, and then probably go into depth with other readings. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and shuffle the cards. Did Williams actually commit these murders? Did he commit these murders? Or these unalives? I'm sorry. I know that YouTube wants you to say things in a certain way, but whatever. start over. Think about it. We're just gonna keep with the theme, because in my last videos, for some reason, I've been pulling 6 cards. I usually pull 3 at a time, but we're gonna go ahead and pull 6 at a time. Pick up the pieces, reverse. Have fun, reverse. New birth. Last and the 6th card. Not that serious, reverse. Yeah, this is kind of what I thought logically, period. I feel like it was not just him. I feel like it was not just him. I wonder if he had some type of psychological or mental issues. And not saying that that's an excuse, but that's kind of like what I'm getting or feeling right now. Even if he tend to have episodes where he blacked out or didn't know what was going on when he was doing certain things, almost kind of like when you have like multiple personalities. I'm not quite sure what multiple personality disorder is, the exact term, so nobody get on me, especially people who know exactly what it is. But I feel like it's something like that, like multiple personality disorders, or something with mental illness where, you know, another person or another personality takes over and you're not quite fully conscious or aware of what the other personality is doing. I wonder if he had issues with that, or if he was ever diagnosed with any type of mental illness or multiple personality disorder or different things like that. But for some reason, I don't know why I keep getting something with blacking out or something. Yeah, because for some reason, the strong energy, I keep getting that he feels as if, you know how people, if somebody tells a lie and they start to believe their own lie, I feel like he really, really believes that he had nothing to do with it. But I think he did. But technically, if somebody is declared mentally unstable or mentally ill, I believe, then I'm not sure how the system actually works, but there are people that have gotten off for various crimes because they were mentally incompetent. Yeah, I apologize for that chime ring, but somebody's passing by. So there are some people who have gotten off with certain crimes because they were mentally unstable or mentally incompetent, or, you know, they plead insanity or different things like that. So I wonder if he's ever been diagnosed or ever seen a psychiatrist or whatever it is to be able to see what's going on with him. But I think this case, I gotta look into it, but just thinking off top, you know, since this case was so horrific and horrendous, and, you know, people already, I guess, thought that he was the person that was doing the unalives, like, okay, just throw the book at him, you know what I mean? He is the one, he fits the profile, that's it, you know, no type of testing or different things like that. But I have to look that up just to be certain, so I don't want to say for certain, but that's what I'm feeling. But I'm getting like this, like blackout energy, like he really believes what he is saying, but I feel like he has something to do with it. But I also think there are other people involved. That's why I said something about like copycats. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if that's like prevalent in this day and time, but I know back in the day, like 60s, 70s, 80s, where you have the Zodiac killer and just different things, like people trying to, what is the word? Like just copycat. Like people decide to, I don't know why they decide to copycat, if it's a thrill or if they have some type of imbalance as well, but they feel like they want to join in on it and copycat. And maybe they feel they're fulfilling some type of sick desire that they've had in the past, and that's their way of being able to get away with it, because if they have a main player, a main person, that those crimes can be attributed to that person, and they can fly under the radar, you know. And that's just a thought. But yeah, with these cards, with start over, think about it, pick up the pieces, reverse, have fun, new birth, not that serious. I feel like, I don't know if he's had mental issues. Let me look this up and see, because I'm just like very what is his name again? Is Wayne Williams, right? Wayne Williams. Atlanta child. Was he mentally ill? Let's start with that first. Let's see. It's giving you like the FBI's profile. Remember I told you they came with a profile. Let's see, investigation, trial and conviction. Now, this is what I do want to say, and I do remember me reading this when I researched a couple years ago, and I see it right here. It says there were many in the community that did not believe that he did it. He was the son of 2 teachers. He was very, very intelligent, if I can remember. He either was creating something in the basement dealing with communications or technology or something. I gotta go read up on it again, then I can bring more factual information to you guys, and that way we can dig a little bit deeper. But there were people in the community that believe he did not do it. When was this article written? Because it says now he's 52 years old. So back in the 80s or something, he was like 23. What's this article? Let me see if I can go to the bottom and see. It really doesn't say. This is like Wikipedia, but it deals with like unalives and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not gonna keep y'all too long, but it's very interesting. So it feels like, I want to know if he dealt with illness. Let me pull some confirmation cards, and then we'll kind of leave it at that, and we can revisit at another time. So let's see, confirmation cards. Did he commit these unalives? Did he commit the unalives? Did Wayne Williams commit the unalives? Let's see. Positive movement forward. Destiny, reverse. Universe. We're going to stay on that streak of pulling 6 cards. Rest and rejuvenation, reverse. Throat chakra, reverse. New beginnings. That's kind of like the other card that came out. Do I have it still? Not this series. New birth. That's kind of like the new beginnings, new birth. Pick up the pieces. It feel like they just... I'm not saying he's innocent, but I feel like it was more people involved. And it's like, remember I said, it's just like, we'll just pin all this on him. Because it makes the, I guess, the state or the police department look good that they're able to kind of like solve these murders. Because if you have just like multiple unsolved murders, what does that make you look like? What does that make your city look like? What does that make your town look like? Like, you can't even solve murders. That means people can get away with ish. And you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, we have to, we all know how sometimes it has been kind of proven in a lot of instances where, you know, law enforcement has put some things on people and people are adamant like I didn't do it. And you have some people who gotten out of jail who have served 20 and 30 years come to find out with DNA evidence and different things, kind of find out they didn't even commit these crimes. So I'm here to say that, you know, law enforcement is here to enforce the law and protect. However, you do have some people who are adverse and they don't do as such for many different reasons. Okay, so when you look at these cards with, okay, positive movement forward, destiny reversed, why do I keep feeling like he has some type of, you know how somebody is very, very intelligent, however they could be, have some type of learning disability or mental illness. Like, say for instance, people who are on the spectrum, not saying anything negative about people who are on the spectrum, but you have different areas of the spectrum where it can be just very mild or it can be very severe. And then you kind of have the middle ground. Like, say for instance, you know, in grade school, I went to school with someone who was autistic. He used to kind of drool at the mouth and different things like that. However, he was highly intelligent. So I guess dealing with something with his motor skills and just different things like that, where, you know, people who normally are able to control certain things, like, you know, from drool coming out your mouth or different things like that, you know, however, he may not have been able to control that, but his mind was such at a genius state. He was in magnet program. Anybody don't know magnet program? It's kind of like gifted and talented, where, you know, you put your children in there when you recognize that they excel academically, and you know, sometimes being in quote unquote regular school or regular classes, they can get bored, which can cause, you know, disruption or behavioral issues, because they finish their work like that and, you know, they need something. So you know, from a young age, since elementary, like grade school, I was in like magnet, you know, programs in school. And so in that type of program, you always have lots, you know, more work, you know, accelerated work, different things like that. He was in the accelerated program. He was highly intelligent, and oh my goodness, he was good in math. And he remembered dates. He, like, the kids would kind of like play with him. They'll be like, you remember when so-and-so did this in so-and-so class? And he would say, oh yeah, I remember. It was back on December 12th, 1993. It was about 4:02 p.m. And so-and-so did this and this and this. And we would just be so amazed. So I say all that to say, this guy is giving me this energy. That's why I keep saying, is like, he was intelligent, like I said, and I remember the article saying something about he was in communications or building something or something intelligent. But at the same time, you know, sometimes they say people who are highly intelligent, sometimes they be a little off, especially like people in the arts, painters, musicians, different things like that, because their mind works in different ways. And so what I'm saying is, did this guy have some type of disability or a mental imbalance where he was very smart in one end, but in certain other areas he was lacking? Did he have issues with blacking out? Like, what's going on? And so with these cards, it feels like with him and even his family, like his parents, it felt like, okay, he's on a positive movement forward. He's moving forward in life. You know what I mean? They birthed an intelligent child. They were both teachers, right? But somewhere along the way, it's like his destiny was kind of like, he was thwarted, if that's a word. He was kind of derailed off his path of destiny. You know what I mean? Or what even he felt, or even his parents felt, that the road that he would travel and go down because of his intelligence in certain areas. I also feel like he was the type of person that was very detail oriented and very intricate, detail oriented, mind always going, and rarely rested. Just mind is always going, always thinking. A man of little words. Whether I also felt as if he was kind of like shy around people. he could speak when he needs to, but he really liked to be to himself, or kind of like an introverted extrovert. And then you had that New Beginnings card, like I said, that was in the other deck. And it's like, okay, every time I get into this zone, and that's another thing. Sometimes when people get into these zones and they black out, or they go into another space or another area, and they like, when they come back, it's like, okay, what just happened? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I honestly feel, you know, with these cards, he felt as if he's innocent, but I feel like he had something to do with these murders, these unalives. However, there's also something going on with him, and I don't think he did all of them, to be honest. But we'll get back with this and more questions that get deeper. If y'all have more questions, if y'all were alive during this time, if y'all have researched this story, if y'all know more about it, leave it in the comment section. Also leave questions that you want me to go ahead and cover within the next reading, and we can go deeper into this story. All right, peace.